even among quote-unquote conservative leaders. People think Bible advances slavery. No, it does not. People think Bible excuses slavery. No, it does not. At all. If you knew anything about what is referred to as quote-unquote slavery in the Bible, it is employment contracts penned in a different way. We have monthly salaries sometimes maybe daily salaries. In the Bible you have a different frequency of payment, but it is employment based on freedom, rights, good treatment, like how you would respectful treatment and so on. There's misunderstanding there, misunderstanding in terms of how women ought to be treated. The Bible is marvelous. The morality, I can honestly tell you. Here is where, can I please tell you, we have live streams on YouTube. The channel is called Operation Stephen. Operation Stephen with a PH. On Thursdays, live stream, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. London time.
Do you think that the government should be run by equal religions? You have to lie to say your religious faith.
Sure. All right. The lady's next question, my dear friend. The lady's next question is, should people of different religions take equal opportunity in governing the nation?
I'm worried that the country's going to be run by all Muslims, like the guy said that there's going to be a Muslim mayor.
Sure.
Is that like a very key point? You have to say your religion before you run for government.
Sure. Sure. For me,
storyteller. He's a storyteller.
The lady's question is, do I think that there must be equal opportunity in government where non-Muslims also take a part in governing our nation? Well, I disagree. I don't want that. Neither do I want. I do not want anyone who can be properly sectioned as a mentally ill person to be in governance at all. You see what happened to Charlie Kirk in the US just a few days ago. Do I believe lunatics to have rights?
Christian denomination! 45,000!
I think they can have rights as long as they are sectioned and are in an asylum properly.
45,000!
Those who are brainwashed and are delusional should not be governing. My dear friend,
Which one is right?
I'll tell you one important thing. If anyone compares my glorious Lord Jesus Christ, who gave the very definition of love in human history, to a mafia gang pedophile, a terrorist mafia gang member, namely Muhammad of Islam, I think they should be sectioned. And I think they should be confined. We should help them. I am a Christian and therefore I am all up for helping Muslims. But if anyone were to compare Muhammad with anyone other than Hitler, Mussolini,
We only have one.
excuse me sir, Hitler, Mussolini, or one of these sex maniacs in this world, if you want to compare Muhammad against these, I am all up for it. I'll spend time and effort to help you. But if you compare such a law of the law, messenger of Islam, with my glorious Lord Jesus Christ, I can tell you, you are a textbook example of a delusioned person. If brainwashing has resulted you in being in that state, my dear friends, I am a Christian and I'll help you understand following Islam is a delusion. Following Islam is not merely a delusion, it is a delusion backed by murderous violence and women hatred.
So all people who are Muslim should be condemned. Do you believe also that if you're an atheist, you are equally as bad as someone who is a Muslim because you have no faith at all?
Let me put it this way. I am here as a Christian. Sure.
And I'm say atheist. I'm
Sure.
open-minded.
Sure.
To seek answers.
Absolutely.
I'm open to everything. something
Sure.
you're saying is
Absolutely.
really interesting.
Absolutely. What I would say, I am a Christian. Unlike,
The Quran
unlike,
says that
whoa.
his skin is roasted through.
Unlike what Islam,
Yeah, it says
unlike
his
what-
skin, that's why he's acting. The Quran
unlike
says
what the Quran
that.
teaches.
The sun said it now.
Whoa, excuse me, sir.
Your skin is
You
roasted
brought
through.
down the IQ level at the park soon after you wandered in. Please, if you please exit that way, thank you very much. Or at least go to the parking space. Thank you. All right.
Roasted through.
My dear friend, I am a Christian. I don't believe in physical coercion, psychological coercion, or any such coercion for anyone to be a Christian. I don't. I believe in people having freedom to choose. So if you ask me, do I believe if atheists have a space? Everyone has a space. If they are not delusional, they have a space. What I would rather say is, I think there are good reasons as to why you should be a Christian. I can give you reasons, but while you might be, for all that I know, you might have born and you might have been brought up in a situation where you didn't know about the Bible properly so far. If you went through the educational system here in the UK with the delusional RE, you wouldn't know about the Bible properly. You wouldn't know about Jesus properly, because what they have done as part of RE in our nation is to make Muhammad look similar to Jesus. They have brought down my precious Lord Jesus all the way down, set up a lift going down 5 floors, brought Muhammad up, and they have somehow given an impression that both are similar. But I like to say to you, my dear friend,
But you said that you respect either religion, but not in an extreme way. So in a school, shouldn't they be able to teach every religion? I was brainwashed with Christianity in school because there was only Christianity. I'm talking about 35 years ago.
Sure.
35 years ago, there was only Christianity taught. There wasn't such thing as a Muslim concept. You learn in RE, you learn a very, very small aspect of other religions. So do you believe that modern day society should be taught every single religion?
sure.
And not extremism?
According to you,
Or is that wrong? Do you think that everybody should be Christian?
Questions, 2 questions. Should every religion be taught?
answer me.
Should every religion be taught in schools? Yes, they can be. Should everyone be a Christian? Yes, they should. And I'll expand right now. Should every religion be taught in the schools of our nation? I think they should be. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Well, you should teach what the Bible teaches. You should teach why we believe in the Bible. And then you will learn why Christianity is the only way. Please, by all means, let us teach Islam, which is what I'm doing even here. But make sure you're teaching proper Islam. Proper Islam, when you teach in a school, you would be teaching that Islam is terrorism. That's what should be taught, because that is what is in here. If you
against education, seek knowledge. Islam says seek knowledge. I have a degree.
your degree
You don't have a degree.
number 10. That's your degree.
What degree you have?
For all,
Which one do you
for
have?
those,
Degree.
That's what I'm saying. You have Oxford University
He's
degree.
gonna be
for those who are not familiar, for those who are new to Speaker's Corner, my dear friends, would you believe? Would you believe? My dear friends, would you believe? I am taking a look, my dear friends. This is important. I am.
Degree. You don't have a degree like him. You don't have a degree like him.
He don't have a degree.
He studied. Look, my dear friends, this is very important. The point I'm going to make right now is very important. I am taking, my dear friends, I am taking a look at everyone who is standing around me, and I can tell you very honestly, my dear friends, I do not see a face, apart from maybe that gentleman, who has been at Speaker's Corner for as long as this gentleman. He has been here for decades, would you believe? Would you believe this?
Women have the highest
We might.
right in the Christianity.
Decades.
Right to women in Christianity.
Decades,
Islam gives the highest
decades
right.
at Speaker's Corner, yet what has Islam done to him? Can you see? What? So he is a prime example.
What?
of a case contradicting his own claim. What did he say earlier? He said earlier, he said earlier that Islam is not against education. He is a prime example to contradict his own claim. Look at him and you will know what Islam does to you.
Nothing.
Whereas the Jews and the Christians have been working hard to advance science, morality, safety, peace, security, charity, every good thing that you can conceivably think of. Whereas the Christians have been spending time, he has been spending time after his asylum claim was sanctioned to come here and cause confusion. Look at him, my dear friend. Look at him and leave Islam. Look at him and leave Islam yesterday. Become a Christian, my dear friends.
He said back off your tongue. He said back off your tongue.
You are a Muslim yourself? Please come here, sir. Are you an intelligent Muslim?
I don't need Turkey because you don't.
I know, but are you an intelligent Muslim? But you are. Wow, please, that's very brave. Please come. Look, we have an intelligent Muslim. My dear friend. Oh, thank you. I'm really sorry about the delay, but thank you very much. I haven't. Soonish, we'll soonish you. But wait, my dear friends. Out of the ordinary, we have apparently an intelligent Muslim right now at Speaker's Corner. Please come here, sir. My dear intelligent Muslim, please come here. You see, the intelligent Muslim wants me to listen to him.
Order! Order!
What has happened to your intelligence, sir? Please come here.
Order! Order!
What is that?
Order!
You had what?
I said you don't know what to say.
Order.
You don't.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question. There are some women in our midst, my dear friends. Simple question in relation to women. Where is one second? Listen. Look at this. Very important. Whoa, one second.
Listen.
Yeah, we will see who has biggest shaitan right now. In 2 minutes, we will see.
Are dirty. Both.
Let's put it this way.
This thing.
If the men are sex maniacs, if the men are sex maniacs, and they can't, they would have weird.
He said you are a Hindu. He said you are a Hindu.
He is a Muslim, so he'll say all sorts of things. Ignore him. The moment he said he's a Muslim, expect anything from him. You see what is happening? If this is your first time, you will see. If you want to see non-violent Islamic comedy show, come to Speaker's Corner. If you want to see violent Islam, go elsewhere. Here, we have comedy shows because the police are around. And they try violence only once in a while. Elsewhere, you find it more frequently. Now, coming to where did that go? Gentlemen go. Okay, so a simple experiment, my dear friends. If men are sex maniacs and they can't,
That's why I have more than one wife. If you can handle it.
look at him.
Yeah. Islam
He's
has
agreeing.
5 wives.
He-
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5.
At least, if he had listened, at least,
Islam says have 5.
What?
Islam says have 5.
no, at least, my dear friends, if he had listened, he would not prematurely start his confession. He has begun his confessional statement because he did not even care to listen to the question. If only he had cared, he might have been in hiding a bit longer. So I ask the question carefully. If men are sex maniacs,
Do you have a wife? He's asking, do you have a wife?
yes, I have one precious one, beautiful. I'm happy with her for until my end of my life. No problem, lovely.
So to a Muslim, a woman is just a commodity.
Sex object, not even just a commodity. A commodity, a mere commodity, maybe an onion.
Replaceable. That you can replace one. You can have
Worse than that. Worse than that.
I don't like that.
You know, for example, a microphone is a commodity.
Right.
According to the Quran, women are not commodities, they are sex objects. Which is worse. Not any mere commodity, but what you buy in your sex store, which unfortunately we still have in our nation, unfortunately. But Muslims should be thronging there. If they knew they existed, who knows, they might be. Now coming to you, my dear friends. No, more important question, my dear friends. More important question right now. If men are sex maniacs And if they can't look at a woman without without having crazy maniac sex ideas, please listen, excuse me sir, don't, please stay quiet, thank you very much. Please who should be confined? Who? If men are sex objects and they can't look at women without having crazy sexual ideas, who should be restrained? The men. Whoever has the issue should be refrained.
So we shouldn't walk around with a burqa.
Exactly, my dear friends.
We're being
Without consent, lady.
Yeah, consent. So okay, listen, no. I can read.
Without the wife.
Okay, no, don't let him ramble on. He'll ramble on any lie that comes through his teeth. No, listen, no. My dear friends, my dear friends, please listen. If men, the reasoning is simple. The reasoning is simple. Justice is simple. Justice is simple. Respecting women is simple. Whoever has crazy sexual delusion should be put inside a confined space. But what is the glorious solution that the Quran gives for maniac sexual men? Wrap the women around. You know Amazon packaging? The Quran. Amazon packaging. Worse than that. Only the eyes to be seen. This is height of injustice against women in our nation today. Height of injustice against women in our nation today. And we are allowing that to happen. The women in Afghanistan are crying out. The women in Iran are crying out. The women in Pakistan are crying out. Women all over the Islamic heartlands are crying out. But what utter fools have we become? We couldn't even resolve their problems, which is okay, maybe you can excuse us because we are not governing those nations. But whereas the women in Islamic heartlands are crying out, whereas we could not help them, we have become utter fools and we have become the very anti-example for justice and have allowed women to suffer in our nation. My dear friends, by women, clearly I am talking about Islamic women right now. Now,
also, can I ask you, with your Christian beliefs, do you believe that a woman is someone who is a mother who should say, you would provide as a man, as a man, you're the provider, and a woman should stay at home and be a homemaker? Or is that different again?
The Bible.
There's a lot of like suppression in females are kind of disregarded in Muslim faith. So how is your? I know you celebrate women and respect them and everything, but do you also believe that women shouldn't work? A man is a provider. I listened to a podcast with Charlie Kirk, and he kind of says that a woman should never ever pay. The man provides, the man pays for everything. And as a modern woman, I kind of don't agree with that. I respect the guy and I went to his memorial. But as a modern woman who's independent, who owns a business, I like to be equal.
Sure.
How does your beliefs?
Let me respond.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk, marvelous man, unfortunately murdered, and I'm really sorry. His wife, children are suffering. And I froze when I heard of his assassination for about 15 minutes. I could not do. I was about to drive from a car park. I could not move. Frozen. Marvelous man. I wish I could have been in his place. That's how much I feel I am 41. He is 31. A lot younger. I wouldn't mind. And I'm really sorry that this happened to him. Having said that, he's not right. If that's what he said, he's simply not right. He doesn't, in that regard, he clearly doesn't know the Bible. I'll mention a few things of the place of women according to the Bible. You can read Proverbs chapter 31 when you go home. If you have access to internet, Proverbs, I think chapter 31 or 30, I can't remember exactly. It'll actually 31. It'll paint a picture of what the Bible claims as a wise woman. A wise woman, and so you can read that. And you will find out that the woman there was actually a provider for the family. The woman painted there. So if anyone thinks the woman of the Bible is not a provider, she can't work, he is wrong. The Bible doesn't say it. Proverbs chapter 30 or 31 paints a picture, you can read through it, and you would wonder, does the man have to do anything? Because the woman there would do everything. Marvelous. So woman, the Bible is not against the woman being a provider. The Bible is actually for it. Encourages. Point number 1, Proverbs 31. Point number 2, would you believe? Would you believe? The number 1 financiers of Jesus' ministry were women. Were women. You can read this in the Gospels, where it gives a list of ladies, names of ladies. Mary, different Marys, and so on. A number of names given in the Gospels of women who were in Jesus' team, who were the actual financiers of Jesus' team. How could they be financiers to the men if they could not find money for themselves? You see what I'm saying? So you have one example from the Old Testament, one example from the New Testament. The Bible is not against women working. The Bible is all up for it. Having said that, the Bible does say, on top of both men and women taking responsibility to support the family, it also says in terms of other functional requirements, the women are more homemakers. That is true. The men aren't. So there are 2 places where the Bible uses examples of women and men. One place, when it comes to love for children, the Bible uses the example of a mother. What does it say? It says, even if a mother forgets her child, her nursing child, I will not forget you. It doesn't say even if your father forgets the nursing child. You see what I'm saying? For nursing, for loving a child, in an emotional way and so on, you see the mother being painted as the best example, and God only says, I will be like that or better. When it comes to the father, it gives another example, and it says, a father who loves his son chastens him. It doesn't say a mother who loves his son chastens him, but a father who loves his son chastens him. So when it comes to dispassionate chastening, it seems like the Bible sees the men being better, the father being better example. Now, I'm assuming through examples we see around us, even in my family and around us, you can see this happen. Clearly, men and women are not the same. Clearly, they have different strengths, different weaknesses. And the Bible seems to capture this properly. In my mind, this is a good depiction. Both have responsibility. Both are valued for different things.
So it's trying to get them connected from 2 different, I get what you're
complementary. Both are needed for the family to run. So in multiple places in the epistles in the New Testament, when the Bible talks about parents versus children, the Bible says children obey. It doesn't say children obey your father. Children obey your parents, both your father and mother. One of the 10 commandments, honor not just your father, honor your father and your mother. So the Bible actually puts them on equal footing in many regards, but in some regards it shows specializations, weaknesses and strengths in different areas. And then finally I could say this, and I could honor, Paul argues for it, and in many different places you see this. Despite the fact that the Bible clearly sees differences between men and women, different strengths, different weaknesses, the Bible wants equal honor, equal respect intrinsically.
So with the man and the woman, it's just basically equal.
Equal respect. And so the Bible says, When it comes to heaven, there will be no sex. All will be like angels. And the Bible,
Unite, they will turn into angels. That's kind of what you're saying?
among angels, there's no
No gender.
gender-based agenda. Everyone is depicted as sons of men. There's no gender-based conflict. And here we might have, but in heaven there is not going to be, because all
You always have non-gender.
no, angels are depicted as men,
Right.
but not in in the way of a gender that we see. It's a different paradigm where if everyone is a man,
Right.
you see what I'm saying?
Same as God is referred
Exactly,
to as a man.
exactly.
And it could be
That
it's not neither man or woman. God.
clearly he clearly doesn't have any sexual, any gender-based issue or gender-based attraction or what. Like the Islamic Allah, he does not, or unlike the Islamic Allah. But in heaven, everyone is equal. Men, women, equal. So the Bible captures this. The Bible captures the value of men and women carefully, coherently, meaningfully. So if anyone follows the Bible properly, if he is a husband, he will learn to respect the wife. Right to the point of creation. Exactly.
Really be fair, isn't it? I mean, that's
Right to the point of creation, would you believe? I'll tell you how God created. Initially only Adam, but then the Bible says God said, "Let me find a helper comparable to the man." Helper comparable. So the lady Eve was meant to even help the man. So in some areas the man needed help, the lady was going to help. You see what I'm saying? So they were created on equal footing.
Wasn't Eve created from
Adam's rib.
So does that make her lesser of a
Not in God's mind. That would be a misunderstanding. For instance, for example, I was,
Muslim? Is that like a Muslim point of view?
yeah, that's a, for example, I was born of a woman, my mother.
Right, I get you, I get you.
Yeah,
Right.
I was born, am I less intrinsically? No.
Oh, I get you.
As a human being, I am equal in value to my mother. She being my mother, I respect and honor her even above me. You see what I'm saying? But overall, if I am teaching in a church,
Creation is not depicted. It's not.
No, it's just
less than one from the other, just because.
exactly. The intrinsic value is the same. But what does the Quran say? The Quran is a textbook, thank you very much, is a textbook example for inequality. Whereas the men should be restrained if they are indeed sex maniacs, or maybe the Quran is gaslighting all men. If they are indeed sex maniacs, the men should be confined, but rather the women are accused and they are confined. That is abuse. Surah 2, Ayah 2 and 3. Thank you. Surah 2, Ayah 2 and 3. No, not Surah, sorry. 230 maybe. I forget the exact location. I forget the exact location. I can find out if you like. But the Quran in Surah 2 very clearly says how men should treat women as sex objects. It actually says, treat your women as irrigable land that you go in to irrigate in the way you want. Her desire not accounted for. What you desire is what you do. Quran elsewhere says, if you think that a woman can rebel, then, well, first, warn them, next, cast them off the bed, and finally even beat them. So there are instructions given as to how sex slaves, i.e. women, would be treated in Islam. You can read through the Quran, you will find out that women are really sex slaves and sex slaves alone. That's the problem we have today. But unfortunately, the Muslim women don't even know this properly, most of them. And we should help them out like how we would help drug addicts. Why do we criminalize drugs? We don't look for drug addicts to have freedom to go and have drugs. We don't. We say, look, this is harming you. Even though you want to have it, we will prevent. We're not going to ask you if you like this or not. You see what I'm saying? And we prevent. Likewise, we prevent gambling. We limit gambling. age-wise, use money spent wise, and so on. That's how we should treat this issue. The theory is straightforward. Women are abused. There is no point in asking the lady, Islamic lady, who for all that we know might be speaking under duress. Who knows? If a Muslim 234 Surah 2, which one, brother? Surah 2, Ayah 223. Your wives are like farmland to you. Surah 2, earlier I said sex object. Surah 2, Ayah 223. Your wives are like farmland to you. The word wives is there because that's how the Quran abusively, gaslightingly uses the word. Clearly, Islam doesn't make men treat their women as wives. The wife, to treat someone as your wife, you need to love her, care for her, treat her like equal. That's not how Muslims do, because that's not how the Quran teaches. Your wives, your sex partner, partners, I should be careful, plural, are like farmland for you. So approach them. This is gaslighting. Consensually it says. But if I read from here, it would not say consensually. Let me read. Your women look at the way in which Muslims lie. Surah 2, Ayah 223. I am reading from the Quran here. I can show you the Arabic if you like. Your women are a tilth for you. A tilth. Cultivatable land. So go to your tilth as you will, and send before you for your souls, and fear Allah. What's the point if you fear Allah? Fear the Mickey Mouse Islamic Allah when you're abusing your ladies. So my dear friend,
So that's rape within marriage. You fear Allah.
Absolutely.
It's allowed because you must allow it because you should be fearful of Allah.
The Islamic Allah.
You must be raped by your husband.
Exactly. The Islamic Allah clearly sanctions rapes.
And that's scary for me as a woman to think that even Sharia law or the Muslim faith is going to take over the country.
Sure.
Where would I be in that? I'd be,
Oh yeah, exactly.
bad,
Absolutely.
And I'm not married, and I'm living a life that I would be condemned.
Sure. Completely agreed. So clearly we can't let our nation become. We are already. By the way, you say when Sharia law is implemented. Here is where I'm going to throw in a bomb. A bomb. A bomb.
It does exist.
Sharia is already here, not among the Muslims alone. Among the Muslims, of course, we hear of the, 30 odd Sharia courts in operation across the UK. But I'm not even talking about that. If they want to mess up their lives, I don't want to say who cares. Of course, we do care. We want to stop that. But the problem I have in mind is a problem which is worse than that. Sharia is implemented amongst non-Muslims today in public.
Banning church bells, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. I'll tell you how. Halal. Number one. Everywhere. Economic dominance. Number one. Number two. Paint a picture, caricature of Muhammad in the UK at Speaker's Corner. See what happens to you. You know what I'm talking about? Have a picture of Muhammd.
So you say about halal. Would you not eat halal meat because you're a non-Muslim person? When I go to say KFC, unknowingly it's halal meat. Do you not believe that? Would you not eat it because it's deemed religious, or is that irrelevant?
No. My problem is not that it is deemed religious. That's not the problem. Most Muslims are looking at that alone. I couldn't care less. I am a Christian. I could eat from anywhere. My problem is this. Before our eyes right now, economic domination without proper research is beginning to happen, or has already partly happened through this halal meat industry. I know currently there has not been a proper research on how many British non-Muslim farmers, people who are farming animals, have lost out when they haven't been part of a halal network. We still don't know. We have been utter fools in multiple regards, including in this. And I want to do this research at some stage. I've looked at a few gaslighting, cosmetic reports with no data whatsoever to back them up, with some illusional propaganda. We need proper research. I would not be surprised.
Do you find it mad that a big American corporation is feeling they have to use like halal meat? They feel they have to.
It's a fact today. It is a fact today.
It's an American company that's potentially been owned with Christian or Jewish roots, and yet they're almost economically forced to use halal meat.
Yeah, today it's a fact, but not properly studied. But it's a fact that many non-Muslims are forced economically to use halal meat. It's a fact. It's a fact. Government institutions are doing this. Schools are using halal meat and halal meat alone. Like I said earlier, no proper research has been done to see how many non-Muslims have been pushed out. We don't know yet. If we study this properly, we might find many horrible stories of precious farmers who have lost out. Better late than never. We should begin doing that now. But
even the food industry has been dominated by Muslim ideology.
Halal meat, number one. Number two, food industry in terms of prepared food, restaurants and so on, clearly dominated without even us studying this properly. I mean, this is where, like I said, we have been fools in multiple ways. It's quite sad. We have been fools in multiple ways. I mean, what level of insanity would it take for our MPs to be spending time today in trying to have consultations on what Islamophobia is? We are mad. I'd much rather say, look, if you continue along this way, we might as well take all the keys of all these asylums and lock ourselves in. What's the point? If you're going to walk around like mentally ill people doing all sorts of evil things, we might as well lock ourselves in. Better late than never we wake up. But can I say something, please? And this is where I'm going to you, especially as an atheist, my dear friend. Of course, I'd like to give you any and every response to any and every question you might have. But I really genuinely think that if you've heard or learned Christianity or about Jesus only through our schools, you might not have had proper education on Christianity, and it gives all sorts of erroneous impressions. People have been arguing that the Bible advances slavery. It does not. Even popular names, American popular figures like Charlie Kirk have been arguing because they haven't read the Bible properly. Unfortunately, they've read maybe 80%. Like I said, if Charlie Kirk had known Proverbs 30 or 31 and the financiers of Jesus being women, he wouldn't have said women can't be working. You see what I'm saying? I'm really sad that I have to be speaking about that now. God, no, of course, through God's grace. Neither do I. God, but of course, he is a Christian. The beautiful thing about you can get your theology wrong, but can be with Jesus, no problem. And it's unfortunate, like I said earlier, the children, 3 years and 1 year, same as my children. And it's unbelievable. I did not expect that to happen. So only good wishes go from me to his family. But there is misinformation about even the Bible. Please, if you come along, or if you open any of our videos, you should find email address and mobile WhatsApp number. Please get in touch. Most people here who have learned Christianity through schools here don't know properly. I genuinely think when you go through the Bible, you find perfect morality. You will not be able to question the morality of the Bible. People accuse the Bible of perpetrating violence. No, it does not. Not even the Old Testament. People sometimes say, number two, we have evidence and reason why. Only God of the Bible is God. Only God of the Bible is God. We have evidence. and reason. So I genuinely would like to commend that to you. So at the end of the day, my dear friend, let me put it this way. The UK, there are some parts of the UK, some people in the UK who have been making sense. But bear in mind, not through our Bible, but through the Bible. It's the Christian biblical knowledge which informed our culture, which gave us knowledge and way to pursue knowledge and be reasonable. You see what I'm saying? And it gives freedom. And it gives freedom for people to take their time to being Christians also. And I'd really like, what's your name? Lisa. I'd really like to commend that to you, for you to inquire. So if you come to our live stream or maybe email, we can have a private conversation. I can bring my wife along. We can have a conversation over Zoom or something. If you're shy, or whatever, whichever way it works. I genuinely think when you go through the details I could share with you about Christianity, about Jesus, about the Bible, you will be blown away. Absolutely. I've been a Christian. I'm 41 years of age. I've been a Christian for a very long time. And I can tell you, Jesus is marvelous. The only thing I don't like about him, when I misbehave, he tells me off. When I misbehave with my wife, he tells me off. When I misbehave with my neighbors, he tells me off. And I can genuinely tell you, I have preached at Speaker's Corner for 15 or 18 years or so now. I think in my remembrance, I think maybe 3 or 4 times, I've said something to a non-Christian and I've really felt sad because God immediately tells me, that's not good. You shouldn't say it. I mock people. I pull their legs. But factually, yeah. But but 2 or 3 times I've had my God immediately, as I was speaking to the people, God said, you shouldn't say that. You are a Christian, you should not. And I had to stop, apologize. That's the only thing I don't like about my God. I'm joking, of course. I do like, because he corrects me. This is why Christians learn, to become better. And now all of us would say, look, it's not our morality, it's Jesus. We know we are wicked and deviant. And the only reason we have any semblance of goodness is because we say we are evil. And so we allow ourselves to be limited and for Jesus to be shown. You see what I'm saying? And so I'd really commend Jesus to you. Based on evidence, based on morality, I'd commend Jesus to you. Lisa. So please, at some stage, if you are able to get in touch, please do. Yep, lovely to see.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Absolutely, the gentleman has been really, really helpful. Thank you very much. Okay, sir. Thank you, Lisa. Did you want him to? Yeah, sorry, my brother.
I'm all wet.
Yeah, sorry.
You can't miss this portion.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Lovely to see you. God's blessings. Please, I'll anticipate the call. We'll catch up with my wife and so on. It'll be lovely.
You might have converted me.
Well, through God's grace, if that's what God's blessings. Thank you very much, Lisa. I'm sure when you get to know Jesus. Say again. Aaron, are you related?
Yeah, we're together.
Okay, lovely. Aaron, lovely to see you also. I'm glad that you could hear the conversation. Are you a Christian already?
Atheist.
You are an atheist also.
But I'm exploring and I'm open.
Absolutely, okay.
Absolutely,
Yep.
Absolutely. I've learned a lot today.
Yep. And so I'd really like to
follow Christian values. That's what I've been brought up with. I've been fully Christian.
Sure.
Christians, baptized.
Yep. I'll give you a simple example to both of you, Lisa and Aaron. Can I please give you one example? The Bible teaches and defines love. Jesus said, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who persecute you.
Is it the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Not
Is
that.
different?
Yeah,
That's from a movie.
yeah, okay. But here, by the way, just to clarify, the intention for Jesus is not to say, hey, have enemies but love them. That's not what he's saying. His point is, even if others treat you as enemies, love them.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So I'm expected to love the Muslims, even though Muslims claim that I am an enemy.
Yeah, so he's saying you've got an enemy, he's going to kill you. But
Yet-
there's others, that's not their fault because they've been pushed to do that.
Exactly.
You still love them.
Exactly. So Jesus teaches love and he defines love. Elsewhere he says, greater love has no man than to lay down his life for his friend. And I come from India. Half of my life has been in India, my first half. And I can say this and I'm exposed to all sorts of different religions. And I can genuinely tell you, please, no one else even thought about defining love. Only Jesus did. You see what I'm saying? No one else even considered. Today there are debaters arguing, oh, maybe Krishna did. No, I've read the Bhagavad Gita. No, he doesn't. No one even thought, hey, look, love is the pinnacle of morality. Love is the greatest ethic we have ever known in humanity. But only Jesus realized that it was important and described it and defined it. No one else did. And that should tell you volumes already. How did he get to know this? Why did he think that this was important? We, in our nation today, in the UK, we clearly want to love. Many great charities, Red Cross and so on, have been advanced by Christians. But bear in mind, they did not come from a vacuum. They all came from a culture informed by the Bible. No, it didn't happen randomly. There are many other nations there is a pattern of behavior. The Islamic nations have had a long history with Islam, but not a long history with charitable organizations. Most of the charities you'd find with Islam are either only helping Muslims or were copycats started today, recently, because they've realized Christian charities are marvelously successful. You see what I'm saying? So I'd really...
Christian charities will help everybody.
Absolutely.
Muslims, say within their community, will only help a Muslim.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Ummah.
That's why it's such success, because to love everybody is the Christian way.
Absolutely. Even those who want to kill you. We saw that even with Jihadi John. From what I remember, there was a Japanese Christian. One of the, I can't remember how many he chopped the head chopped off. Jihadi John, Islamic State. One of them was a Japanese Christian.
Because when someone's forcing someone to do something, it's not their fault, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's still a bad thing, you still got to watch yourself, but it's not them, you know what I mean? It's not them that's done it, someone else.
But yeah, most Muslims are brainwashed, if that's what you say. So, Jesus is the way to go. But of course, today is an introduction. According to the Bible, no one can be brainwashed into following Jesus. You need to take your conscience decision, and anytime you will be free to leave. Unlike, again, Muslims, Islam. And so please inquire. Please get in touch. Aaron, Lisa, please get in touch. And it will be marvelous to speak more.
Christianity is the only religion I really respect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. God's blessings. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa. God's blessings. Thank you very much.